Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Starrapter, and welcome back to the channel. It is a Thursday. It means I'm going to break down the latest in Star Wars comics. We have the High Republic. We have Dark Droids, the Scourge, and all this awesome content I'm going to review for you guys right now. Jumping in with Darth Vader, issue number 40. This one is The Master's Trial, written by Greg Pak with artwork by Rafael Ainco. In this, Darth Vader has overcome his kind of force problem he was having when the Fermata cage was unleashed, and it sent out a force wave that really just created him to be unstable with the force. So now that he has mastered that, he realizes hate, if he channels hate that calms him, that's able to help him channel the force, he's going to use that hate against the Emperor. He's going to Coruscant directly to confront the Emperor. And the Emperor, you know, he gives him a fair shot. He's going up against the Emperor. The Emperor is really getting the upper hand on him. But then Vader brings in kind of a big weapon in the form of a small thing. And that is the Scourge droids. And, well, the Scourge droids actually take over these Death Troopers. And Vader has to kill them. And then basically Vader comes to realize that, hey, if I can't beat him, join him. So he ends up getting himself to be voluntarily taken over by the Scourge. So I think he wants to get that power from the Scourge to be able to thwart and take down the Emperor. Because the Emperor basically says, your hate is strong, but my hate is stronger than yours, which gives me more power over you. But I thought it was really neat that we had Sly Moore in there, sub-administrator. She has a little bit of force sensitivity, and we get to see the after effects of she's really struggling. She is unwell. It looked like the Emperor was going to just give her a mercy kill if Vader didn't show up, and having him kind of, distracted by Vader, of course. But it was interesting to seeing the effect of the Scourge and how that has evolved over Dark Droids. First, they could only take over droids. Second, they could only take over cyborgs. And now in this issue, they're taking over pure organics. And not only that, but they are taking over the dead Death Troopers. So they're resurrecting things, bringing them back from the dead. And it's really interesting now, having watched Ahsoka, this is the second time we've seen undead Death Troopers. So pretty scary thought seeing this. And also, all these infected, droids start going all over Coruscant. Coruscant is heavily populated by droids. And then there's this Protocol 23 or Order 23 that the Emperor gives out. And you just see basically a collateral damage. He is just flaming the city with laser blasts, just wiping out any trace of the droids. And they say it's complete. So they purge the entire planet within minutes of all the Scourge, which was very impressive, very efficient for the Empire. So yeah, very looking much forward to see where this goes with the continuation in Dark Droids number 4. Getting into the High Republic, we're going to start off with Shadows of Starlight issue number 2. This one is called A Resonance of Hope, written by Charles Soule, with artwork by Marika Cuesta. Now remember, the whole point of these 4 issues of Shadows of Starlight is to catch us up on what's happening in the big moments between Phase 1 and Phase 3. There's a year gap between the fall of Starlight Beacon and where Phase 3 books begin. Last time we got caught up with what's going on with the Jedi Order, with the Genesis Protocol, or whatever it is. And now we're dealing with specifically characters Avar Kriss and the character of Elzar Mann. Now these characters have a very big connection to Cell and Geos. He is a council member. He was taken down heroically with the Starlight Beacon. And, well, we got a lot of reminiscing about this character, why he's important to them. They're part of like this, the growing up as Padawans in the Coruscant Temple. And we get to see both sides, right? They get together, they're reminiscing. Avar Kriss is feeling very much guilty for what has happened to the Starlight Beacon because she is the marshal of the Starlight Beacon, and it was because of her, possibly in her own head, she feels responsible for thousands and millions or thousands of deaths. So she has taken a journey of her own to go out into Nihil space and to be able to take revenge. And, well, she goes out there and then gets trapped out there because not shortly after the Starlight Beacon is downed, Marchion Ro announces himself to the galaxy as the leader of the Nihil, and then since blockades off this area of Outer Rim space, and he calls it the Occlusion Zone. It's protected by the Storm Shield, which will prevent communication, and it prevents any ships from going hyperspace through this thing. It's basically a void. So we have Avar Kriss in this story, who is behind enemy lines over months. She's on this planet. There are these sympathizers for the Nihil, but there's also these people are helping her out with supplies and different things. And then the Nihil also call in these mercenaries of General Weiss, who we've seen show up 150 years prior in the Porter Engel story, The Blade of Bordota. So we have all this going on. They're taking out innocent civilians because they think that they're sympathizing with the Jedi, which is her. And she makes an appearance and she starts taking out these bad guys. I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's really cool seeing her different kind of costume, her evolution. Meanwhile, this entire time, the storyline of Elzar Mann is he is trying to get to his friend, and he has developed a device with the help of this droid that used to be Sellen's, which is this Tythonian type of thing where it's only Jedi can use it to, go through the Force and they connect with others. She does make a connection with Avar Kriss, and since is giving motivation this several months later to just keep trying to find her, just keep trying to find her friend, keep trying to find a way to get through the Occlusion Zone. So that is what happens in this story. Very good. The next issue we get to see Bell, and it looks like Bell is going to become a knight because his Padawan braid is being chopped off by a lightsaber in a ceremony. So very much looking forward to that. And here is the flagship here for the High Republic. This High Republic issue number 1 for Phase 3. Now, this one is called Children of the Storm, Chapter 1, Now and Forever. Of course, written by Kevan Scott with Dream Team, Ario Anandito. And of course, as I just said, this is a year after the fall of Starlight Beacon. This focuses on Keeve Trennis, who is also now a Jedi Master, and we open up with her kind of having nightmares, flashbacks of Skier, also going down on the Starlight Beacon. There's a lot of casualties on that thing. It was one hell of a Flashpoint event that has changed things forever. Now the Nihil are said to have been making a deal with the Hutts, and the Jedi have gotten word of this. The Jedi are on this cruiser called the Geos. This is a long beam ship that Keeve Trennis is on. This other new character, Jedi, and they're going down there, and we get to see this perspective of the Hutts meeting up with the Nihil on this planet, and there's tensions are high, but the Hutts want the help of the Nihil because the Nihil are very powerful at this point, having the space, having the resources and all that. And of course, the Jedi crash the party. There is a big epic space battle with Tarek and Sarek, I think that's how you say it. These Force twins, right? They're in their I was going to say Starhawks, but that's completely different. They're vectors. And then we also have on the battle on the ground with Republic forces with Keeve Trennis just valiantly fighting against the Nihil, fighting against, the Hutts. And then, the Nihil actually brought this, and this is where this is tying into the title. This is a child of the storm, brings in a nameless, and it immediately takes out one of these brazen Jedi, turns him to stone, and then luckily they take care of it with Sarah in the Vector. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the ship, but by the end of this, one of the enforcers of the Hutts reveals themselves as none of them Lourna D to Keeve Trennis. We've seen plenty of this character interacting with Avar Kriss, and I think Keeve Trennis had seen her in Phase 1, has taken over the Ataraxia, which is a big ship for the Republic that was the Jedi's kind of like flagship, so it's pretty cool seeing that pop up again. I'm not sure of the allegiance of Keeve Trennis. Is she just now undercover? Is she completely gone out of, the reputation with the Nihil? Is she just purely with the Hutts now? Is she independent? We'll learn much more about that, I'm sure. She's a cover character, so that means we're going to see quite a bit of her. But yeah, it was great seeing the Nameless. It was great seeing the Space. It was great seeing Commander Jeheni, which was a character that was in the old Insider magazines. I believe that is her name. But yeah, great start to the High Republic Phase 3. I think this was a very great in bringing us into what the story is, but also getting some really great action combat. It's nice that we have a nice little checklist in the back of this book for a reading order, although it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to just read the Shadows of Starlight always before I read if it's the same day in the High Republic, since it takes place a little bit before these events. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys enjoyed the comics came out this week. It was a very big week for comics. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this one. I do my podcast with the Ion Canon, with the Star Wars Underworld podcast over there on Tractor Beam. I'm there with Matthew Neugebauer, and we're talking about the comics on a weekly basis in much more detail than I'm talking about here in a much funner kind of discussion, if you will. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel, subscribe to the Star Wars Underworld Network, where you can find that content as well. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.